Exodus, we're on a new chapter. Exodus chapter 1, Israel multiplies in Egypt. Now these are the names of the sons of Israel who came to Egypt with Jacob. Each came with his household. We got Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. All the descendants of Jacob were 70 people. Joseph was already in Egypt. Then Joseph died, and all his brothers and all their generations. But the Israelites were prolific and increased greatly. So this is kind of going back a little bit into Genesis when they talked about how they increased and stuff. They were prolific and increased greatly. They multiplied and became extremely strong, so the land was filled with them. Now, isn't it important, the importance of multiplying and growing your army and, pouring God into your kids so that they, you can be a light, but your kids can also be a light. And then their kids can be a light. And you're building this strong generation of people sharing the light for Jesus. It's a beautiful thing. And it says, now a new king arose over Egypt who did not know Joseph, nor the history of his accomplishments. He said to his people, behold, the people of the sons of Israel are too many and too mighty for us. They greatly outnumber us. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, so they will not multiply, and in the event of war, join our enemies and fight against us and escape from the land. So they set taskmasters over them to oppress them with hard labor. Okay, so the one before was kind to them, and now this one, they didn't know what happened, so this is where they made him their slave. So that's kind of ties in the story of how that's working out. But then we're going to see how God's going to work that out for good eventually on here, and how we read over and over about the Israelites. And the sons of Israel built Pithom and Ramses as storage cities for Pharaoh. But the more the Egyptians oppressed them, the more they multiplied and expanded. So the Egyptians dreaded and were exasperated by the Israelites. And the Egyptians made the Israelites serve rigorously, forcing them into severe slavery. They made their lives bitter with hard labor in mortar, brick, and all kinds of field work. All their labor was harsh and severe. Then the king of Egypt said to the Hebrew midwives, one of whom was named Beauty and the other named Splendor, when you act as midwives to the Hebrew women and see them on the birth stool, if it is a son, you shall kill him. But if it's a daughter, she shall live. But the midwives feared God and did not do as the king of Egypt commanded, but they let the baby boys live. So the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said to them, why have you done such a thing and allowed the boy babies to live? The midwives answered Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women. They are vigorous and give birth quickly, and their babies are born before the midwife can get to them. So God was good to the midwives, and the people of Israel multiplied and became very strong. And because the midwives feared God with profound reverence, he established families and households for them. See how even they are ruled by somebody bad, but because they fear God, God took care of them, watched over them. Then Pharaoh commanded all his people, saying, every son who is born to the Hebrews must be thrown into the Nile, but every daughter you shall keep. This is the hard times. This is your daily Bible chapter reading God's Word Monday through Friday. See you tomorrow.